So once again, good evening to everyone as we now begin to partake in part two of returning to Backcourt. Our presenters, Mr. Kendall Henry from the US Virgin Islands and Mr. Norval Young from the British Virgin Islands. Without further ado, I hand the floor over to Mr. Young.
Yes, a pleasant good evening to everyone, and welcome again to another training session for CBC basketball. Again, my name is Norval Young, and I'm a FIBA certified referee representing the BVI, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this training session once more. The topic again is ball returning to the backcourt, and we are going to basically start with a recap of what we went through yesterday in terms of the rule and what it really entails for us to determine ball returning to the backcourt. Okay, so one moment. Okay, can everyone see the slide?
Yes.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. All right, recap.
Yes.
First thing first, article number 2, the playing court. And it's essential for us to know what a team's backcourt is. And 2.2 states, a team's backcourt consists of its team's own basket, the inbounds part of the backboard, and that part of the playing court limited by the end line behind its own basket, the sidelines, and the center line. Wrong way. Okay, playing court again, 2.3, front court. A team's front court consists of the opponent's basket, the inbounds part of the backboard, and that part of the playing court, limited by the end line behind the opponent's basket, the sidelines, and the inner edge of the center line nearest to the opponent's basket. And it's key for us to understand in order for there to be a ball return to the backcourt, the team there must be control of the ball. And control of the ball's definition is team control starts when a player of that team is in control of a live ball by holding or dribbling it, or has a live ball at his disposal. So, in order for there to be a backcourt violation or ball return to the backcourt, the team must have control of that live ball in the front court for a ball to return to the backcourt violation to be called, if that violation does take place. Now, Ball returned to the backcourt, Article 30. A team, that's 30.1.1, a team is in control of a live ball in its front court when a player of that team is touching his front court with both feet while holding, catching, or dribbling the ball in his front court, or the ball is passed between the players of that team in its front court. Because if you remember yesterday, we had some scenarios in the interpretation where player had both feet in the front court and he catches the ball and he's airborne and he lands with either whether both feet in the backcourt, feet straddling the center line, or one foot touching the center line. And in all three instances, that was a backcourt violation. So, as it says, a player of that team is touching his front court when with both feet, while holding, catching, or dribbling the ball in his front court, or the ball is passed between players of that team in its front court, and that will constitute team control of a live ball in the front court. 30.1.2, a team in control of a live ball in the front court has caused the ball to be illegally returned to its backcourt if a player of that team is the last to touch the ball in its front court, and the ball is then first touched by a player of that team who has part of his body in contact with the backcourt, or after the ball has touched the backcourt of that team. Again, this restriction applies to all situations in a team's front court, including throw-ins. However, it does not apply to a player who jumps from his front court, establishes a new team control while still airborne, and then lands with the ball in his team's backcourt. Now, the however part basically deals with a player of a team who intercepts the ball and then he gains a new team control, and he may land in the backcourt or straddling or touching the line. However, the 30.1.2 does not apply to that situation where a new team control is gained. 30.2, a team which is in control of a live ball in its front court may not cause the ball to be illegally returned to its backcourt. That's the basic rule. And the penalty, the ball shall be awarded to the opponent's team for a throw-in in its front court from the place nearest to the infraction, except directly behind the backboard. So if there's a backcourt violation or ball return to the backcourt, the inbound place will not be behind or directly be behind the backboard, but the place nearest to where the infraction took place. All right? And there's a reminder. And we reiterate, the ball goes to a team's front court when, during a dribble from backcourt to front court, both feet of the dribbler and the ball are in contact with the front court. Both feet must be completely in the front court. A ball is deemed to be front court when it is passed to a front court player who has both feet completely in the front court. And the key aspect here, last touch, first touch equals violation. In essence, this means the last player of the team that had the ball in the front court, if they touch the ball last, ball returns to the backcourt. And if any player of that team is the first to touch the ball in the backcourt, then that is a violation. Ball return to the backcourt, violation. Turnover, ball to the next team. All right, so I'm going to show or send a couple videos, give persons time to look at it, and then we will analyze and break it down. So one moment. Are there any questions at all from anyone? Please state your name, where you're from, and pose your question, please, if you do have any, or any queries.
Remember to optimize the video.
All right, I'm going to place the link in the chat, so persons look for it there, please. Basically give a minute to 2 minutes for persons to look at it, and then we'll come back with the analyzing of it. All right, were persons able to view the clip or the video?
Yes.
Okay, Leona, since you responded first.
Yes, I saw it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Leona, we'll have you give your feedback first.
Okay. The player, he was at center court, and as we had last night, one of the scenarios that we were given, he was straddling the center court. So he had 1 foot in the front court and 1 foot in back court. So he collected the ball, and then he passed it back to the back court. So that's why it was a violation.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Let's try someone from Cayman
Jamaica.
Islands today.
Yeah, Miguel Peter, Cayman Islands. That was not a backcourt leg violation because he did not establish himself in the front court, and the ball was still in the backcourt. He was straddling the line before the ball even passed the backcourt. The ball did not pass backcourt until after he had passed it back. That was not a backcourt violation. That was a wrong call.
I agree. NBA rules
This is Anthem Barbados. NBA rules, that's a backcourt, but FIBA rules, he is legal in the past.
Okay, any other, let's have, is there anyone in the session from Antigua? All right, Jamaica.
Yeah, that looks like a legal play. This is Rodney from Jamaica, Mandeville. Terry Rozier was not in the, he was straddling the center line. So he had not established himself in the front court when he took possession of the ball and passed it back.
I mean, that's something you learn in Pee Wee basketball. But again, another turnover here in this first half by the Celtics. Here's the over and back, Rozier back to Thomas, but the Cavaliers being able to do.
Down to 5. The ball in the hands of James. Now Corbin for 3. Jefferson able to Crowder, then rested on the strip by Crowder. Rozier, oh, that's a backcourt penalty. Whoa.
All right, based on that situation and based on what we discussed yesterday and today, final answer, backcourt or no backcourt violation? Leona.
No backcourt violation.
Leona. Okay. Hold on. Leona, question.
Yeah, sorry.
Based on your answer initially.
Yeah, now I looked at it again just now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No need to be sorry. No need to be sorry. We are all here to learn from each other.
After review, after looking at, because after the guys mentioned that, I went and we looked at it. So yeah.
All right. So consensus, no backcourt violation. Yes or no?
No backcourt.
No
Yes,
backcourt.
no backcourt. Yes, no backcourt.
All right. So yes, in that play, the ball never made it to the front court. And so hence that could not be a ball return to the backcourt. Yes, 1 foot was in the front court, the other was on the line, but the ball did not make it to the front court. So all three points were not established. 2 feet plus the ball. Okay? All right, next video. All right, here comes the link.
Yeah, watched it.
All right, we'll wait for the others. So another about 30 seconds more.
Okay. Do we have anyone from Suriname?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, based on what I have learned yesterday and what I took as knowledge, the Article 14, where we were discussing ball control, and the team had possession of the ball and they had clear ball control when the ball went over the center line. So in this instance, it is a backcourt violation, so it's illegal, in my opinion.
Okay. Let's go over to Grenada. Anyone from Grenada?
Yes, good night.
Good night,
Hey,
Mr.
good night.
Dion.
This is Sharon Francis here from Grenada. You hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you. Go ahead.
So to me, that's a violation. The team A had control of the ball in the front court, and they were the last to touch it in the front court and the first to touch it in the back court. So to me, that's illegal. That's a violation in the back court.
Thank you. Anyone from St. Lucia? Anyone join? Go ahead, Miss Vanessa. Are you giving me to Judy?
Yes, I think it is. Initially, when I looked at the video, it looked like the defense had touched it. But when I reviewed, it looked like it came off of his leg. So they were first to touch and last to touch. So I think it would be backcourt.
Okay, I'm gonna ask anyone that has a different opinion from the persons who have spoken thus far. Okay, you can proceed, Mr. Norman.
Ahí está Juan Carlos Navarro, 6 minutos para el final del partido. El Barcelona lleva un tiempo sin anotar, se le está atragantando ahora mismo al conjunto de Xavi Pascual. Ahí está Juan Carlos Navarro, 6 minutos para el final del partido. El Barcelona lleva un tiempo sin anotar, se le está atragantando ahora mismo al conjunto de Xavi Pascual.
Okay, so in that clip, who was last to touch the ball? Or yes, who was last to touch the ball? Was it the dribbler? Was it a teammate? Or was it an opponent?
Teammate.
Someone said teammate. Why did you say teammate?
Because the guy who had the ball prior to the teammate who caught it last had on the same jersey, so that's why it's a teammate.
So question, how did the ball get to the backcourt?
The ball went to the backcourt, I guess, inadvertently, by the ball handler.
Derek Alexander, Derek from Dominica. It's almost like last night when you showed that clip with when the guy attempted the three-pointer and his teammate touched the ball and it went into the backcourt. To me, there's no possession in that. It went off his leg.
Oh.
So he did not have any control. So it's almost like, and somebody said last night, is like you could keep a ball and go and score. But then last night we saw that you can also keep a ball and you go into the backcourt. So I think this. Hello?
Yes, we're listening.
We're listening.
Okay. Yeah, so I think there was no possession from things, so it's not a backcourt violation. That's
okay.
Nice.
Do you want to see the video again, anyone, or we're okay?
I'd like to see it again for a second opinion.
Ahí está Juan Carlos Navarro. 6 minutos para el final del partido. El Barcelona lleva un tiempo sin anotar. Se le está atragantando ahora mismo al conjunto de Xavi Pascual.
All right, so for clarity, would you say the dribbler dribbled the ball off the inside of his right foot? He dribbled the ball onto the inside of his right foot. Do you agree on that? Do we agree on that?
Good night.
One of his players' foot.
Okay, the dribbler in dribbling the ball, dribbled the ball onto his the inside of his right foot.
I agree.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay. Was he firmly and squarely in front court? Was he in front court? Was he firmly in front court? There's no consideration as he's straddling the center line.
Yes, he's in front court.
Yes,
Yes, he was firmly in front court.
He's firmly in front court. Okay. Who was the last player to touch the ball after it returned to backcourt? Was it an opponent or was it his teammate?
His teammate.
His teammate.
It was his teammate.
So is that a scenario of first to touch and last to touch?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
So question is it a violation of returning the ball to backcourt?
Correct.
Yes, it is.
Yes, please. I believe so.
Does anyone think different?
I think different because he did not. There was no possession on the ball. It's good.
So,
Mr.
Hold on, Ian. Hold on. But the persons who have their mics on, turn it off, please, so we can not have any disturbances. If you're not speaking, please mute your mics. Okay. Let me go back to the presentation again. Okay, let's go again. 30.1.1. A team is in control of a live ball in its front court when a player of that team is touching his front court with both feet while holding, catching, or dribbling the ball in his front court. Or the ball is passed between the players on that team in his front court. Okay, based on that video, which part of bullet number 1 is taking place? Is he holding the ball with both feet in the front court? Is he catching the ball with both feet in the front court? Or is he dribbling the ball with both feet in the front court?
He's dribbling the ball with both feet in the front court.
Okay, so hence, that team is in the front court, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. Now, in dribbling the ball, the team A's player dribbled the ball off of a foot. Now, persons would agree it is not the foot of an opponent. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Not correct.
So hence, the ball was last touched by team A. Yeah, am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Correct.
Ball returns to the backcourt. Which team is the first to touch the ball when it returns to the backcourt? Team A or Team B?
Team A.
Okay. So hence, we have ball returning to the backcourt with team control. Last touch, first touch equals violation. So if Team A, which was the Barcelona team, if they were the last to touch the ball in the front court, and then the first to touch the ball in the backcourt, does that constitute violation? Ball return to backcourt.
Yes, it does.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Derek, you tell me, based on what we just went and read and went through, and based on what you saw in the clip, with the video clip, do you have
Violation.
the same answer or do you change your answer?
I change my answer now to violation. Yes, you're right.
Okay, so is that clear?
Yes, sir.
In that clip, it is a violation.
Yes, sir.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Lovely. All right. Once we agree, or once persons can understand the rule, the dynamics of the rule, apply that to the situation based on the clip. Then we can understand. Then we can understand the rationale in determining ball return to the backcourt. Okay? Moving on.
Can I say something?
Of course, go right ahead.
Last night, you showed a video last night where the one team attempted a three-pointer and it was skipped by his teammate and it went in the backcourt and the referee blew the backcourt violation. And then when we looked at it, it was not because there was no possession. Does that, why wouldn't that apply? Because first touch and last touch in that scenario. Because it's almost like that, the same thing, first touch and the last touch. Why wasn't it a violation? But the referee blew a violation, he blew a backcourt. But then when we look at it and we came up and we look at the rationale, then we get to understand that it was not the right call. But that would constitute the same first touch and last touch. Would that apply?
I will, Therese, can you answer that question for me, please? Okay, Ricardo, you handle that one. Ricardo Hales, that is.
Yeah, what is it, Norval?
Okay, the gentleman, Derek, was relating to the video of last evening where the team A attempted a shot for a field goal. Ball rebounded on the rim. Team A taps the ball out. Ball goes into the backcourt. Backcourt violation was called by the officials of that game. We went ahead and break it down and said it was not a violation and it was a wrong decision. Can you clarify for our learned gentleman why that was the case?
So, can Derek hear me? Derek, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so Derek, what country are you from?
Dominica.
Oh, Dominica. Okay, Derek, in that video that was shown yesterday, if it's a shot, it's a legal shot, right? That was taken. And the ball was tapped. When the ball was tapped, no one has possession of the ball. So if the ball is tapped over into the backcourt, whoever retains position makes it a legal play for not being a backcourt. And you can't confuse rule a year ago with the rules now. You have to be sure. So this video that was shown yesterday, it is simple and it was straightforward and it was explained about 5 times. And I'm really happy that you actually make reference to it that you never understand, because this is what I spoke of yesterday. Engagement. We all need to engage. If there is something we aren't sure of, ask the question. When you ask the question, it makes everyone better.
Okay.
Hello.
I was just saying that with that little what we just talked about, the first touch and the last touch. You know, it almost, to me, almost the same. First touch, last touch.
Oh,
so
Derek.
That's my thing. But no, I understand it now.
All right, so Derek, just to clear it up for everybody that you understand, when the ball is released for a shot, team control ends. Okay? The ball hit the rim and is tapped out. Now, a tap does not change team control. So once the ball then went into backcourt, am I correct, Norval? The first person that would have gotten that ball now has a new team control. So in that sense, it's not a violation. You understand it now?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay, thanks.
Just, yeah. Continue. Thanks.
Mr. Young?
Yes, Mr. Yearwood, I'm still here. I'm going to post a next clip in the chat. And here it comes. Now. All right, did everyone have a chance to view the clip? All right, so
I would say that's an illegal play. Team A is in full control of the ball, dribbling it and straddling that line. I think that's a violation.
question, what was the term you used a while ago? Straddling the line?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? So wait, your answer is backcourt violation.
Yes, ball return to backcourt. He is in full control of the ball, straddling the backcourt line.
All right.
To me, it looks like his foot actually touched the line, so I think it's a violation.
Okay. Anyone else?
But I would think it's legal because although he did touch the line, but both feet did not go over the line, so I don't think it was a backcourt violation.
This is Mark Nicholas Tux and Caicos. I think it's legal. It's not a violation because he didn't go over onto the backcourt. He tried to gain control of the ball after they passed it to him, but he did not have both feet on the other side of the line.
Kevin from Barbados, not a backcourt violation. The ball did not return to the backcourt. The ball did not return to the backcourt.
You say the ball did not return to the backcourt. Why?
The player was actually trying to, the player actually prevented it from going to backcourt. He actually was still dribbling it in his front court. So in his attempt to going by the line, because we are talking about the line, going by near line, but even if his foot went over, the ball need to return. The ingredients have to be there. The ball need to go back into backcourt for it to be a backcourt violation.
Okay, anyone else?
Good evening. I am Gusha from Haiti. I see it's illegal. Illegal because at the time his foot touched the line, he wasn't dribbling the ball at the same time. I think it's not a backcourt violation.
I think it's a backcourt violation to Dugar Moan from Guyana. I think it's a backcourt violation. It appears to me as though he mashed the center court line, and he was in control. The ball to me was in his right hand. So that makes it a backcourt violation.
All right, we're going to show it again.
Did he? Wow. The referee's right behind Smith. He saw Smith's foot touch the half-court line, so it's backcourt. See, can you be the judge here? Well, it's certainly very close. McFadden just...
All right, we just saw the video again, and I stopped it at strategic points within the video. Okay. Now, persons were saying, okay, violation, no violation. Okay, foot didn't go over the line, and so forth. But what we have to remember is this. Remember, once you have complete control of the ball in the front court, it doesn't matter whether it's 1 foot, returns to the backcourt, and you have control of that ball, it's a backcourt violation, okay? Now, in this particular video, it's very interesting. Why?
I think when his foot made contact to the center line, I don't think the ball was in his hand.
Okay.
It was actually on his second dribble after when his foot hit the line.
Well, based on how I know it, once that player is dribbling the ball, whether he holds it in his hand or it's in the air while he's dribbling, he's in the act of dribbling. So he's in control of that ball. And once his foot touched that line, whether he just rushed that line, you straddle that line like that, it's a backcourt violation.
Now this here will help to determine whether backcourt or front court. A team in control of a live ball in the front court has caused the ball to be illegally returned to its backcourt if a player of that team is the last to touch the ball in his front court, and the ball is then first touched by a player of that team who has part of his body in contact with the backcourt, or after the ball has touched the backcourt of that team. Okay? So in terms of new team control, that doesn't apply here. Now question, I will go back to the pre-O shot. anyhow. Now, in that scenario, did any part of the body of the player that last touched the ball, did any part of the body go into the backcourt? I know this is a tough video because this is a video from the Basketball Champions League, and it's a play that took a lot of video breakdown and slow motion in to really come up to the correct answer. So did any part of that player's body return or touch the backcourt based on Article 30.1.2?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, going back to what we did earlier, what constitutes the front court?
The opponent's basket, the inbounds part of the backboard, and the part of the playing court limited by the ending line. Behind the opponent's basket, the sidelines and the inner edge of the center line nearest to the opponent's basket.
Okay, and you say the inner edge, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. What constitutes the backcourt? Based on what we did yesterday and earlier today.
A team's backcourt consists of its team's own basket, the inbounds part of the backboard, and that part of the playing court limited by the end line. Behind its own basket, the sidelines and center line.
Okay, so it says the front court is the inner edge of that center line, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Did any part of his body go into the backcourt? Based on the rule and based on what constitutes front court and backcourt?
Yes. His boots broke the line.
You said it broke the line. Did it cross the line? Did it touch the inner part of the center line? Okay, which one?
Yes, it touched the inner part of the backcourt.
The inner part of the front court.
Okay, you say the inner part of the front court, which means, is he still in the front court? Yes or no?
Yes.
To me, no.
Okay. Look at what constitutes front court again and what constitutes back court. Because as was read, the inner part of the center line and so forth is constituted in the front court, okay? Now looking at the video, slowing it down. Okay, let's show the video again.
Hey, look at me, look at me.
Did he? Wow. The referee's right behind Smith. And he saw Smith's foot touch the half-court lines of the backcourt. See, can you be the judge here? Wow, it's certainly very close. McFadden just...
All right, go again. I know it's gonna be a little difficult because of the camera angles and so forth and what have you. But as a referee, these plays are bang bang. I know it's not every time we're gonna get them right 100%, but these are situations where we really need to pay attention and know what the rule says about the particular example. All right. Now, I'll just give the answer so we can move on so we don't harp on this one too long. Because based on what the analysis was, right? And in determining the result, I'll just place the response in the group chat. All right, so were persons able to read the response from the breakdown of it by the person who did the game, or even the FIBA technical persons? This is basically the answer as to what that play constituted. Again, I know it's a tough call, and hey, mistakes can be made, and in situations like those where it's very, very, very close, is that you make a call, you don't make a call? Is that you make a call? You need to make a call, right or wrong, because it shows that we understand, and sometimes we may not get it right, but we try to ensure that we get the calls correct 100%.
Can I clarify something here?
Question.
Go ahead with the question first, and then the person who wants to make a clarification.
If he was at the time when his foot touched the innermost part of that center line and he was in contact with the ball, would that have been a violation, a ball return to backcourt violation?
Are you asking me that question or the group?
No.
I think it would be a backcourt violation, but we need your answer too.
The backcourt violation because this is more spot the front court make it legal. Anything different would be illegal.
Okay, let's read. Offensive player 34, blue, receives a pass from a colleague close to the midcourt line. As he catches the ball, it bounces on the floor, and whilst his hand is not in contact with the ball, his left foot contacts the midcourt line. The key phrase is here. Whilst his hand is not in contact with the ball, his left foot contacts the midcourt line. If his hand was in contact with the ball while his foot makes contact with the midcourt line, then we can appropriately and correctly apply Article 30.1.2. However, because his hand is the key word N-O-T, not in contact with the ball. When his left foot makes contact with the court, mid-court line, it will not be a backcourt violation. So we need to be able to see the whole play and not just the foot touching the line. We need to see foot, ball. If the ball or if the player has contact with the ball when his foot touches or crosses that mid-court line.
And just a quick question or clarification, please.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Right. I think I got the answer from the first question the guy just asked. But one of the things while we were discussing it, when we spoke about what defines the front court and what defines the back court, there seemed to be this thought about the inner part of the line. How I understand it is that any part of that line is considered the backcourt. Am I correct or not correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Right. Okay. So because I was wondering why we were speaking about whether it barely touched the line or whether it was on the inner part of the line or if we were breaking down the line into parts. Because my understanding is that any part of that line is the backcourt. But I understand the explanation about the ball not actually being in his hand when he touched that line. In other words, he kind of established himself back in the front court before he could touch the ball again. So I just wanted to clarify that part about the line, because it seems as though when we talk about the front court, we're talking about piece of the line, which to me there's no division of that line.
And that is correct, sir. Thank you for that. So do we understand now why that play would not be a backcourt violation?
Yep.
So let us be reminded, for a backcourt to take place, the player must have contact with the ball while any part of his body touches the backcourt. Okay? If he doesn't have contact or control of the ball when any part of his body returns to the backcourt, it will not be backcourt. Is that clear? Or person is still having a hard time?
Norval?
Yes, sir.
I think for clarity, at the time of contact, any part of his body is touching that line. Once he has fully been established in front court, it is an offense. It is a violation of the ball return to back court. For clarity. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you. Mr. Brown, good evening. Do you have anything to add?
No, sir. I think Ian covered it all as far as I'm concerned. Just perhaps it'd be good to read the bullets separate, not all in one, so you can really get a picture of what's taking place. But fine, I think Ian covered it.
Thank you.
Continue, sir.
Thank you. All right, I'm placing the next clip. Here you go. Do we need some more time or we good to go? All right, I'll give 20 more seconds. Okay, let's go. Coutinho Daryl.
I love that one. Nice.
Coutinho
Yes.
Daryl, please.
Yes.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Where are you from?
Suriname.
Say again?
Suriname.
Lovely. Give us your take on that clip.
No, it's illegal because defender touched the ball.
Okay, thanks. Can I have an answer from one of our female participants?
For me, I would say it's legal because the defender touched the ball out of control, and then the offender went and got the ball in the backcourt. So for me, it's legal.
Okay, thank you. Anyone from Bermuda? Anyone from Colombia? Anyone from Trinidad? Anyone from St. Vincent? Anyone from Anguilla? Okay, let's have Keisha Anglin. Come, Keisha, give us your answer. Come, guys, it doesn't matter right or wrong. We are all here to learn from each other. That's the only how we can get better. That's the only how we can get to that next level. So let's try and don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let us open up and let us communicate with each other, because that's the only how we can really get better at this thing. And that's how, when we learn together, we get better together. So when we go out there on the court, we help each other where necessary. We get better as a team. We get better as a confederation. We get better as a group of referees. So let's not be afraid, because we are looking for the next group of referees from this training session. We would like to have, when 2021 comes, we have 50 referees from CBC, and not the number that we currently have. So let us work this is where we're going to improve our skills and our game and our knowledge of
Can you show the
basketball and
video again?
rules.
Can you send the link back again? Because
Yeah, Mr. Norwell. Yeah, he sent the link. Mr. Norwell, from what I saw, right, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure, but from what it looks like, the ball was tapped away by the defender, but he touched the ball while it was still in the front court, and then he bunks it in the back court. I mean, he lost possession, but he did touch it in the front court and bunks it in the back court. So I would say it's a backcourt violation.
All right, thank you, Miguel.
Yeah, very from Dominica. I would say the backcourt violation because his both feet was in the front court, but he bunks the ball in the backcourt. That's why he lost the ball, but then his bunks was in the backcourt, and but his both feet was in the front court. So I would say the backcourt violation.
This is Mark Nicholas, Turks and Caicos. I would say it's not a backcourt because the first touch was by the defender when he tapped the ball and it went to the backcourt. Then the player went over and received the ball. So they talk about the first touch and last touch. So the defender touched the ball and the front court, and then he went over. And then the player went back and collect the ball and bring it back over. So it's legal.
Mark, if you look at the video again, the ball did not reach the backcourt. The ball did not go to the backcourt. If you look at it again, Mark. Just take another look at the video.
Look at the video. He bunked the ball in the backcourt.
Okay, okay, hold on. I will show the video again. Hold on.
Another almost still as Holston wants to pick the pocket. They're going to call the foul. He must be a terror to play against. The center of gravity is so low. It's right into it in stance. Another almost still as Holston wants to pick the pocket. They're going to call the foul. He must be a terror to play against. The center of gravity is so low. Right into in stance. That's 2 fouls for Holston, though.
Can I give an opinion now?
Go right ahead.
Okay. What I interpret from, I should identify myself, Dion Williams from Jamaica. In the first instance, the ball was touched by the defender. Then the offensive player would have then topped the ball while both feet was in his front court. He tapped it over the back court. Then he went into his back court. So now he would have brought the ball into his back court. So I think that would have been a violation because he had gained possession. His first dribble would have gained possession in his front court. Both feet went over the half court line, made another dribble before coming back into his front court. So that would be a backcourt violation.
Okay, thank you. All right. First, okay, question. Was the red team in control of the live ball in the front court? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Was the ball being dribbled, held, or passed, or sorry, caught in the front court?
Dribbled.
Dribbled.
Okay. The white team, which is team B, did team B tap the ball?
Yes.
Yeah, that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the tap, did the ball go into the backcourt, or with the tap, did the ball remain in the front court?
Remained in the front court.
It remained in the front court.
I think it remained in the front court.
I would say it went to the
Back
backcourt.
court.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
I
say
think it
back
went into the backcourt as well. But I
know,
ain't too sure.
Again, looking at the video, it may not be clear outright to everyone, but really took place. But I am going to paste the result or answer in the chat in 1 second.
You feel Queenie and send it check. How do I go to the chat?
That's just part of the answer.
Does it? Yeah.
All right, so were we able to read or see what the result is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is
Yes,
what was
sir.
explained clear? Ian, you have anything to add?
You've got it covered.
Mr. Brown, anything to add?
Did you happen to have a chance to go to Article 28?
I don't think we touched Article 28 in this session, no.
Okay, all right. Because I think one of the when dealing with backcourt, front court violation, there's some principles that we have to observe, and we must determine, all right, when does the ball goes into the front court. And based on the information I think they got over the last 2 days, even though they have not perhaps taken a look, or you guys did not go through Article 28, which deals with the 8-second count, I am almost sure if you give them the question, when does the ball goes into the front court, I am quite sure many of them would get more than at least, it's 5 bullets, they'll get more than 3 to 5, 4, I'm sure. So let's give them that question. When does the ball go into the front court? Without looking at the rules, everybody's running to the rules now. We'll go through the rules.
Yeah.
Just take a snap at it. Anybody. And then we close on that.
And I think you did mention when does the ball
When does the ball go into the front court? I guess everybody's searching the rules now. I give them the option.
Hello?
Go right ahead. You good? Ian?
I think she's having difficulty in transmitting.
Oh.
Someone else answer.
Okay, great. That's
So,
one.
I'm thinking that the 3 points rule, like once the ball is in the front court, like all 3 points.
Excellent. That's one. All 3 points. And that is during a what? During the what? During the dribble.
Dribble.
Yeah, you got to remember that during the dribble, all 3 points. So that's one. Continue. Anybody else?
A person in the front court has control of the ball.
Excellent. It touches a person in the front court. Good. Or they gain control of the ball in the front court. Okay, that's good.
Henry Williams from Jamaica.
Go ahead.
When the ball crosses the half line before 8 seconds expires.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good try. That's during a dribble?
Yes, or pass.
Okay, or a pass. Excellent.
If I may,
Continue.
when the ball, excuse me, once the ball and the player has successfully gone over the half line before the 8 seconds have expired, and the offensive player has both feet and ball in the court, in the half of the court where he is, where his basket is, excuse me.
Then I think I understand what you're trying to say. I'll give you the answer for that a little bit better. Okay, let me just go through them. All right. The team, let's go. Whenever a player in the backcourt gains control of a live ball, or on a throw when the ball touches or is legally touched by any player in the backcourt, and the team of that player taking the throw and remains in control of the ball in his backcourt, that team must cause the ball to go into his front court within 8 seconds. We know that. All right. The team has caused the ball to go into its front court whenever the ball, not in control of any player, touches the front court. So whatever you do, the ball goes into the front court and it touches the front court. That's one. You pass the ball and it touches the ball into this front court. Two, the ball touches or is legally touched by any offensive player who has both feet completely in contact with his front court. So an offensive player, A1 is in the back court and A2 is in the front court. A1 passes the ball to A2, who has both feet in his front court and catches the ball or touches the ball then is in the front court. Three, the team has caused the ball to go into his front court whenever the ball touches or is legally touched by any defensive player who has a part of his body. So in the front court. So A1, who has the ball in his back court, passes the ball, and the ball happens to hit a defensive player, all right, who's straddling the center line, then the ball is considered to have been in the front court. Right? In that case, if the ball comes back and team A gains the ball, then they get another 8 seconds because the ball has already touched the front court, but team B or the defensive player had touched the ball last. That's just an example. The team has caused the ball to go into his front court. Whenever the ball touches an official who has part of his body in contact with the front court of the team in control of the ball. So an official is straddling the center line or in the front court. A1 passes the ball hits an official. The ball then is in team A's front court. If that ball comes back into the back court and team A gains control of that ball, they get a new 8 seconds because the ball was already into the front court, which suspends the 8-second count. And then the team has caused the ball to go into its front court whenever during a dribble, everybody got this one, whenever during a dribble from the front court to the back court, the ball and both feet of the dribbler are completely in contact with the front court. I will advise you to take a look at the interpretations of the rule with regard to Article 28, and you'll see all of these items show up in questions. So those are the 5 areas that determine when a ball goes into the front court. Good, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. Hold up. Okay, go ahead quickly.
Okay, so let's say, boom. So I dribble in the ball from my backcourt into my front court. I pass the ball up to my teammate. However, my teammate ain't watching. So I end up passing it to like their back or their bottom of their foot, which is already in the front court, and I hit off of their foot or their back, roll back into the backcourt, and I pick it back up and continue dribbling. Is that backcourt violation?
Okay, I think the key word here, the ball touches or is legally touched by an offensive player, touch who has what? Both feet. An offensive player. So, an offensive player touches the ball with both feet and the ball rolls back, and the same team who's in control of the ball gets the ball in the backcourt, then it's a what? It must be a what?
The violation. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, because the ball had already went into the what?
The front court. So
and it was
what
touched by
part
who?
of the basket touch?
Touched by who? The offensive player. Now, if the same thing occurred with a defensive player, that would be different. Or with the official, be different. Or it won't be a backcourt violation. You start a new 8 seconds if the ball goes back and the same team gets the ball. Good to go? Excellent question. Yep. Thank you.
Can I ask the last question?
Yeah.
Last question, because we're going to wrap up right now.
Yes, please.
Right. So let me ask this question, right? If the offensive player is coming to the half-court line and the referee standing right next to the line, it's about 6-7 seconds. He hits the ball onto the referee, comes back into the backcourt. Does he get the new 8 seconds going forward?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
Sir. It says here, all right, if the ball touches an official who has part of his body in contact with the front court of the team in control of the ball, all right, that team who passed that ball and touched the referee caused the ball to go in the front court, all right? If the ball comes back, all right, his team did not touch the ball. Team A did not touch the ball. It's a referee. So if it comes back, you're going to get a new 8 seconds. But the 24 seconds continue. It's not a backcourt violation because it wasn't the last to be touched by Team A. Good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, simple. It's not that bad. Outstanding. Hey, I think that was a good one right there. Thanks for the question, guys. Love it.
So, Mr. Young, just want to thank you for your very interactive session tonight. It brought a lot of questions, and I'm hoping that your questions have been answered. For those of your friends who have made it on to tonight's presentation, remember you can still visit the website and hear and see actually tonight's presentation. Again, thanks for being here and have a good night. Tomorrow night, we'll be looking at individual officiating techniques, and this is a very important topic.
Very important.
Okay,
Muy
Ian,
importante.
before you go, I'm going to put one last link in the group, in the chat. You can view it in your own time.
Okay.
All right. So again, thanks to everyone for being a part of the sessions, and hope that everyone learned quite a bit, and we look forward to further interactions with you in the coming weeks. Thank you, and have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.